Of course he's done 1 rep maxes. I can't think of a single bodybuilder, single lifter who's been training for years who's never attempted a 1 rep max. But the question is, should you? Coach Greg, and is a 1 rep max beneficial for bodybuilding? We all love going for a 1 rep max. How much can you bench, squat, deadlift? Knowing the answer, going in the gym, testing your might, seeing just how strong you are for 1 rep. It's fun and enjoyable, but should you do it for bodybuilding? Well, we're going to look to none other than Chris Bumstead, Mr. Olympia, to find out. Chris was asked, you ever 1 rep max? And I'm going to give you his answer. Of course he's done 1 rep maxes. I can't think of a single bodybuilder, single lifter who's been training for years who's never attempted a 1 rep max. But the question is, should you?
Do you ever 1 rep max? So I don't 1 rep max pretty much at all anymore. When I was younger, I used to because I just loved being strong, but I never did it in squatting because it was absolutely terrifying.
And even back then, I never went for 1 rep maxes in the squat. Beg to differ, Chris. Remember that 585? Squatting down for a 1 rep max and you couldn't get it on the way up. Literally, you're trying to get 585, you got up a few inches, great. Then you couldn't do it, you went back down in the squat and said, I'm getting this, and somehow, miraculously, you actually got it up. Mind blown, I still remember the video. Haven't seen it in years, but it's left such an impression. First time I've ever seen somebody try to squat up a weight, not get it, go back down in the hole, and come back up. That, to me, is clearly a 1 rep max.
But right now, as a competitive bodybuilder with my career, the risk of that does not outweigh the reward.
And so clearly that makes sense. For a guy like Chris, imagine if he gets injured and can't train in the gym. That could prevent him from competing in the Mr. Olympia. But does that mean you should never 1 rep max? Does that mean it should be banned, outlawed, that no one should do it? Of course not. There are several reasons or methods of performing the 1 rep max which make it safe, not 100% safe, but since when is anything we do in the gym 100% safe? And so if you are going to perform a 1 rep max, always sufficiently warm up. And so whether that's through cardio and using light weights and gradually upping the weight until you get to your 1 rep max, please ensure that you're adequately prepared to do the 1 rep max. Don't go in the gym, see the max weight, and say, I'm going to lift it. I've seen that so many times. I can't believe how many times I've seen it. I would be in the gym doing deadlifts. Somebody comes over and says, I want to see if I can lift it. Why would you do that? Even if you can, not a smart thing to do. You should be properly warmed up and prepared to perform that 1 rep max. Next, don't ego lift. Don't put more weight than you think you can get. It's one thing to go for a 1 rep max that you can most likely get, and quite another to put 50 pounds on more than you can do, and then try to lift it using sloppy form. And next, always have a spotter and the necessary safety racks in order to perform the lift safely. If you do in fact get hurt, pull a muscle, slip, and so on, you should have a safety mechanism in place to prevent you from further injury. And don't forget, don't try to cheat to get that weight up. If you're doing the bench press, safest thing to do is to pause the weight each and every time. By doing a pause, you're reducing your risk of injury. If you're doing a squat, don't do like Chris did that day where he squatted, couldn't get the weight up, went down and went back up. That is a lot more dangerous. It's okay to place the bar on the safety racks. No point trying to get injured, trying to get up that squat. And on the deadlift, always keep proper form. Don't round your back thinking you're going to get the weight up. If you can't get the weight up, you've attempted, you pulled as hard as you could for 2 seconds, it's not moving, just stop. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with attempting the weight, saying I couldn't move, walk away, get it next time.
So as I still love to train heavy, it's just a passion of mine is pushing weights in the gym. I focus more on ranges maybe as low as 4 to 5 reps on deadlifts because I feel safe doing that.
And so even though Chris doesn't do 1 rep maxes, it doesn't mean he can't test his strength. Rather than doing a 1 rep max, he might do a set of 4 or 5. Put on a very heavy weight, use good form, and try to max out, but do higher reps. For Chris, 4 to 5. For Chris, that's comfortable for him. He feels safe when doing a 5 rep max. For you, perhaps it's 1, 2, 3, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 15. That's besides the point, but if you want to test out your strength, it is okay to test out your strength with a slightly lighter weight than your 1 rep max and still train to failure. That is how I trained my entire career.
On bench, I always do high volume for bench and squat because I'm trying to keep my body safe from injuring. I don't want to break anything, and it's not worth.
And on bench and squats, Chris doesn't like to lift heavy. 5 reps on a bench or squat, that doesn't feel safe for him. He doesn't want to risk getting a pec tear or perhaps hurting his knees and so on. And so for those lifts, he likes to perform his heaviest weights 8 reps plus. And so how heavy you lift and the rep range you dare use, that is on you. It's what makes you feel comfortable. And if you're comfortable going for a 1 rep max, it's okay. There's a lot of motivation and a lot of benefit you can get from doing a 1 rep max. The problem is you don't want to get injured. But what if the 1 rep max is what you truly enjoy? It's fun for you. It's why you go to the gym. Your goal, you want to bench 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates, perhaps even 5 plates. Whatever that number it is, that is why you're training in the gym. You go to the gym, you're bodybuilding, you're trying to get bigger, thicker muscles, but you also want to be strong. You want to look strong and be strong. There is nothing wrong with going for 1 rep maxes. However, not every day. Don't go to the gym and think you need to lift heavy all the time. And so what would I recommend? I would recommend doing as I did. I would train for bodybuilding and powerlifting. And so for part of the year, perhaps you have a powerlifting meet or you simply want to see how strong you can get. Say for the next 8 weeks, you're going to focus on strength. Start with going for 8 rep maxes. 8 rep max, squat, bench, deadlift. Put on a weight and see how many reps you can get it and try to fail around 8. Each week after that, add a little bit more weight, fail at 7. Following week, fail at 6, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so over the next 8 weeks, you gradually increase the weight and lower the reps so that you are mentally and physically prepared for performing that 1 rep max. That should minimize your risk of injury. And following this 1 rep max, your body is now going to be stronger. Your muscles have gotten significantly stronger, and then you can go back to your bodybuilding training of which you perform higher reps, time under tension, and so on. And so with that stronger muscle, your body can now lift heavier weights for higher reps. And so the body can go through greater stimulus for muscle growth. Think of it. If you increase your bench press by 50 pounds from say 250 to 300, when you lighten the weight back down to perhaps 225, you will be able to perform significantly more reps than had you not increased your strength in the first place. And so if you want to have a mesocycle where you focus on strength and then follow that up with hypertrophy training, then to me that makes sense and can make bodybuilding that much more enjoyable. If every time you go to the gym, you always train the same way, always do high reps, and you get bored of it, you might not want to go to the gym. And so perhaps that 1 rep max, the feeling of lifting or performing a PR, perhaps that motivates you. Perhaps that releases dopamine and makes the gym fun. And for me, training has to be fun. Notice, has to be fun. If training is not enjoyable, how long do you think you're going to do it? A month? 3 months? A year? 3 years? We're looking for decades of enjoyment. Lifting weights, it's not about just going to the gym, getting an aesthetic physique in a year and then give it up. It's about a lifelong enjoyment, a passion for lifting weights. Arnold Schwarzenegger said it best. Why are you going to the gym, Arnold? You're so old, you're in your 70s. It's like eating breakfast for him. I do it every day. I go and I get the pump and it's enjoyable. It is fun.
Why do you still come to the gym?
For the same reason as why am I having breakfast today. I had breakfast yesterday, I had breakfast 10 years ago. Training is part of my life.
And that is what I want weightlifting to be for everyone. I want them to enjoy it the way I do. I've been lifting weights since I was 10. I'm 46. 36 years of training, not stopping anytime soon. And so what I want is people to have a passion for health and fitness. Whether it's through weights, cardio, whatever, find something that makes you fit and keep doing it for the rest of your life. And to do that, it has to be fun. And if you want to do a 1 rep max occasionally because it's fun, and makes you enjoy training in the gym, it gives you a goal, then by all means, go for the 1 rep max.
My goal is hypertrophy and not so much purely strength.
And so although Chris's goal is for hypertrophy and not much for strength, Chris Bumstead is the 3-time Mr. Olympia. He has clearly got a lot to lose by getting injured. But if your goal is to have fun in the gym and to make gains, look better, feel better, and you enjoy going for 1 rep maxes, I say go for it. Yes, there is in fact a greater risk of injury, and no, I don't think you should do it all the time. But if you go through the proper steps, you warm up, slowly progress to your 1 rep max, don't ego lift and use proper form, chances are you're not going to get injured and it's going to make the gym fun. And throughout my training, I always wanted to be the biggest, best bodybuilder I could be, but also the strongest. And I've been doing 1 rep maxes since I was 10. That's right, I started as a 10-year-old doing 1 rep maxes. Probably shouldn't have, but I can remember going down in the basement and maxing out almost every single day in the bench. That was what was fun for me. I couldn't wait to try to get that PR in the bench. And if bodybuilding training hadn't been so fun for me, do you think I would have done it to the extent I did it to this day? And so do what makes you happy. And if training for 1 rep max is enjoyable, perhaps you could even consider training for powerlifting. Clearly, if you're a powerlifter, you're going to have to lift very heavy weights for lower reps. And there's nothing wrong with that. We shouldn't cancel the sport of powerlifting just because you can get hurt. In the same way, we shouldn't cancel bodybuilding just because it's not healthy for some individuals. And so I do think you can get the best of both worlds. You can combine the 2 sports. And what I did, what allowed me to get more dopamine, to try to max out all the time, is as I got older, rather than going for 1 rep max, I went for maxes at all rep ranges. What is my 2 rep max? 3 rep max, 4, 5, 20, 50. And so by maxing out with various loads at various rep ranges, you can decrease the frequency or the need to go for 1 rep maxes. And so there's more than one way to find out if you've gotten stronger. You want to track your progress. You want to see if you're using progressive overload. Sure, you can 1 rep max, but it doesn't have to be your 1 rep max. You can find out if you got stronger simply by going for 5 rep maxes, 10 rep maxes. If every month you've gotten stronger, you did 225 for 10, month later 226 for 10, month later 227 for 10. Notice I'm going up by 1s. You don't have to go up by 5 pounds. You can literally put on a collar. How do you think I would perform 1 pound increases my strength growing up? Added collars. Didn't have to go up by 5 pounds. 1 pound, that's a PR. Half a pound's a PR. And so make small, slow, steady gains, extend it, enjoy the gym, go for 1 rep maxes if you want. And if you're worried about injuries, do as Chris is doing and do the rep range that feels safe for you. For Chris in deadlifts, it's 4 to 5. For squats and bench, it's higher. That can change for everyone depending on your comfort level. And so please, if you do enjoy going for 1 rep maxes, don't think you should never do it. Then it should be banned. That if you do that, you're an idiot moron and that it's simply a dumb move. It's okay to 1 rep max. Just do so and be safe. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IIP Pro. Let's check out one of the bloops, and then, of course, you can go to my website and get harder than last time supplements, training books, cookbooks, a circle diet book, so much stuff. Click the link in the description. You want a free training program, become a newsletter subscriber. Subscribe and click the bell button. Get notified right now. Leave your comments. Please leave them now. And until next time, I am out.